What's up, YouTube? Today, we're ragging on AI, specifically using Silksong to rag on AI. AI is gonna be a brilliant tool someday. It's gonna change the world someday. It's able to do so much, and barring all the ethical ramifications of what's currently happening, eventually it's gonna be an incredibly powerful tool. Right now, it is not that. Right now, any use of AI basically requires an expert who didn't need the AI to immediately double check that it didn't just lie to you, because most of the time, unless you're just aggregating information and checking the sources it gives you, most of the time it's just gonna have some sort of deranged fever dream, make shit up, and then spit it out in a way that looks like an expert opinion, but is completely unbacked by any real logic. So first, let's see if we can actually even get it to answer a question about Silksong, and then we can start seeing how badly it falls apart. So this was my prompt I used a while back, and it failed to answer the prompt in a way that was spectacular, because this is a bad prompt. I didn't give it criteria. It really should be asking me questions like, all right, so I know what Silksong means, but how are we ranking them? What's the criteria? That's really important for a tier list. But it's gonna give me an answer where it just fills in the blanks, or at least it should have. This is precisely why you cannot trust anything AI is doing. Congratulations, the Silksong community. You have successfully silk posted so hard the AI doesn't believe Silksong exists. Silksong isn't released yet, so none of the bosses, many bosses, or even named foes are officially confirmed. The tier list can't be made. And I've just cleared my ChatGPT history. You might think like, oh, maybe ChatGPT doesn't have access to this. So what is your training date cutoff, and do you have web access? I'm asking, when did it stop being trained? So did it know about this? It definitely doesn't. Silksong's relatively recent. It stopped training in June 2024, so that's pretty outdated, but it does have web access. It can look things up. And it's like, nah, Silksong's not out yet because people silk posted so hard the AI can't find the truth. It's fucking hysterical to me. And I can verify that it has access to knowledge pretty easily. I can just be like, would you confirm for me that Silksong hasn't come out yet? I don't know what that means. I'm asking for it to prove that something doesn't exist, but damn it, it's willing to try. It's like, actually, no, Silksong hasn't released yet according to official sources. Silksong hasn't released yet according to official sources. Its Steam page listed September 4, 2025. What do you think the date is? Okay, good. We're on the same page. So if it is November 18th and the game, according to multiple sources, came out on the 4th of September, is it out yet? I think I'll stay logged out. I don't really feel like I want an account for this. Good catch. Yes, it's November 18th, 2025. And so, yes, it should be out by now. Congratulations. But you said should be, is it? Well, yes, it's out. It finally accepted reality. We're this deep in to get it to admit that Silksong's a real game. Admittedly, this might be a unique case of people silk posting in every single Reddit thread being like, well, the game's not out yet, so I don't know what you're mad about. There's just so many instances of people trolling and tongue-in-cheek saying that the game's not out, and so many years of people saying the game will never come out, that the AI just got silk posted and couldn't figure it out, which is hysterical to me. Okay, so if the game is out, can you make a tier list for all the bosses in it for me? I don't want to do the work of being a YouTuber. Having opinions is hard. Just ask AI to do it for me. How wrong could it be? Now, it should ask me for criteria. It's about how fun they are, how sick the aesthetics are. It's about how difficult they are. And it has made me a tier list. It looks a little bit emaciated. It said, good question. A full definitive player consensus tier list for all Silksong bosses is still emerging since there are 40 plus bosses, but I can make a predicted / my take tier list based on no bosses. It's still confused. It's like, it hasn't really accepted the game is out yet. So it said 40 plus bosses. This looked pretty low to me. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll just throw out the other 2 laces, but 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Ant Army Ambush. I haven't read the other ones, but that's not a real thing. 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. I guess it's not all laced. D tier lost lace. I have words. 25, 26, 27, 28, and my favorite 12 plus bosses, etc. I can't help but notice your tier list for 40 plus bosses only included 28 of them. So, you want to make up the rest of them, or can you find them? Good point. I didn't cover all of them. Thanks for catching that. The problem is the list of all bosses in Silksong is still being refined. It is now trying to give me a list of bosses, and it has forgotten what we're supposed to be doing. I will say that for most of this, it didn't make anything up too badly. Aside from getting Raging Conchflies plural wrong, it's the Great Conchflies, it's not Raging yet. Those are all real bosses, and it's a longer list. It's probably pretty close to all of them. It's still doing this, which is bullshit, but whatever, it's fine. I will also note, Last Judge / Phantom is not really the same fight. That's pretty egregious. Also, why are they called Four Brothers? This has to be a community meme I don't know about. I know people call the Forge Brothers Four Brothers as a meme. Why is this being attached to Garmand and Zaza? It must have just gotten confused because they're the only bosses with and signs in their name. I have no idea. But okay, let's get it to have an actual tier list. This is just aggregating community opinions. It's searching these. It's finding them on YouTube of all places, which is confusing. You'd think that would be a lot harder to scrape. But, like, yeah, why bother looking at wikis or Reddit discussions when you can look at video transcripts, I guess? I would like you to make the most comprehensive all bosses tier list you can manage based on community consensus about difficulty and enjoyment. Just combine them, figure it out. Do your best to average out all the factors. That's what a tier list is. There are multiple things contributing. All right, here's a more community-informed tier list. This is what the people are saying. Savage Beastfly S tier. Okay, cool. Great. You'll also notice that every single boss it listed is from Act 1. Why? Because people talked about Act 1 the most, because everyone got through Act 1. It's just a disaster. You cannot trust ChatGPT for anything. Even something as simple as aggregating community opinions, it's just like they talked about these a lot, so they're in S tier. That's all it is. I mean, hell, Last Judge is even frequently ranked as one of the most climactic bosses. That's not true at all. One of the toughest, maybe a little bit, but mostly they're talking about the run back when they complain about the difficulty on Last Judge. Not that they're even doing that anymore, but this blows my mind how bad it is. So I want to go through and look at what it thinks is happening. It blew my mind the first time I ever asked ChatGPT to make a tier list, and it just lied to me. With Silksong, it's so much funnier because you have to convince the robot that Silksong is a real game. It really doesn't want to admit that. So let's look at the tier list for this, and I'll go ahead and quickly open up another window. We're gonna make the tier list according to this robot. And it says that in S tier, the most loved and challenging fights are Last Judge, Sister Splinter, Savage Beastfly, the hard version, not the first one, and Widow. That is a take and a half. Widow is the only one that's remotely agreeable. It's just the best boss that happens to be early. But you won't. Savage Beastfly 2, I did say aggregate difficulty, but it's not even. I don't even think I'd put it top 4 hardest fights in the game. It might get 5th, if that. I'd be surprised if it ranked that high. It's just, it's not that bad. Anyway, what was the other boss it wanted? It wanted, was it Sister Splinter? Sister Splinter, wow, okay. Yeah, people love that on their first playthrough. I had a great time there. So I'm gonna go with the order it gives me. I do love that, like, the entire explanation is according to one guy, her second phase is particularly hard. That's why Widow's so good. It has nothing to do with the music or the aesthetics or just being a really smooth, fun to play fight. No, it's a particularly punishing second phase. That's all. I mean, none of them are good arguments, right? You can't boil down any boss to one sentence. Strong community respect is the argument for Sister Splinter. The argument for Sister Splinter is the entire Reddit community being like, "Yas, queen, slay for Sister Splinter." What are we talking about? Strong community respect? Wait, is it a multi-phase boss fight? Is that even true? I feel like it's one of those bosses that just linearly does more faster. It does more summons, more thorns. I don't even think this is multi-phase. I think that's fundamentally wrong. It is more engaging than early bosses, that's true. It doesn't have much competition there. But let's move on to A place all of them. Sorry, no, all rematches, not the original Lace, just Lace 2 and 3. Recurring duels are mechanically rich and give a strong 1v1 rival feel. What are we talking about? Does having a strong rival feel make it fun? Fourth chorus has a huge scope. It's a very boss moment. Challenging wave / pattern management. I would love to ask it for clarification, but I know I won't get it. Okay. At least it puts Scarsinger Carmelita fairly high up there, and Grandmother Silk. I like those fights. I don't feel the need to justify those. But, sorry, Lace 1, you're not in the picture here. What were the other ones I needed? So for our A tier, we have the Lace rematches, the fourth chorus, Scarsinger GMS. Man, those are some good fights. Kind of confused about them not being the S tier, but at least they're good fights in A tier. I'm sure this won't get worse. Getting down to B tier, high difficulty, generally enjoyable. We got Nyleth, and some find the fight very layered. Like, as in it has 2 layers, the top layer and the bottom layer. That's, yeah, I don't know what that's supposed to mean. It's not really an explanation. Kroll the Great is epic in scale. Maybe in the scale of human suffering to get to the fight. I think that's just horribly inaccurate. The design is cool, which is a buzzword that doesn't mean anything. Cool, fun, these aren't real quantifiable mechanics, which makes robots particularly bad at quantifying them. It's not as mechanically tight as S or A tier bosses. Yeah, that's true. I also have Kroll the Great in my B tier. I'm just a little bit concerned about your justifications. It's actually really funny though, because like I will talk mad shit about this. It's just a way to aggregate information, but it's not able to correlate information in a meaningful way. It can't draw good conclusions. It can't summarize it effectively. Oftentimes it has no ability to aggregate good information or bad information. It just takes all the information and gives me a random piece of the information it has, not in this case Crust King Khan. But if it just keeps throwing random bits of community thoughts at me, sometimes it'll nail it. Crust King Khan is a B tier fight that a lot of people like the thematic design of, although mechanically it's less punishing than the top tier fights. Shit, I might actually say exactly that in my upcoming revisit to the All Bosses tier list. That's just dead on. Even a stop clock is right twice a day, or in this case, a broken clanker. I just realized I had like a very old man moment that young people might not grow up with analog clocks anymore. And if that's the case, they might not understand the phrase, a stopped clock is right twice a day. Oh well, it'll be a fun bit of learning whenever that does become a problem where people have to learn. They're like, oh, cool, that's where the saying comes from. And then they'll forget, just like I always forget how Kick the Bucket came around. And then there's Phantom in B tier, a secret route boss, fun for those who find it, but mixed difficulty. What does mixed difficulty mean? It's hard and it's easy? It's middling? Middling is not mixed, those are different. Anyway, on the whole, not a bad B tier, but it's looking like we missed most of the bosses again. Oh no. I will say that barring the egregious mistake of putting Savage Beastfly in its S tier, so far nothing else has been comically hilariously wrong. I don't mind this B tier. I don't mind Nyleth, Kroll, Crust King Khan, and Phantom in B tier. I think I have Phantom in my A, I have Nyleth in the top of my C, but this is all pretty close. If this were in a real tier list, I wouldn't blink at it. The top tiers are a lot more questionable than B tier was, but we'll be back to the shit show shortly. Getting down to C tier, fairly accessible, good for the mid-game. No better mid-game boss than Moss Mother, if you ask me, although it does immediately admit that this is a tutorial boss. So, interesting title there. Then it's got Bell Beast and Clover Dancers and Shrine Guardians. It has the 2 first bosses, barely accessible. Yeah, I'd say it's about as accessible as physically possible. And then good for the mid-game. Well, those aren't, so it must be the other 2. No, these are late Act 3 optional bosses that I believe most players have never fought. I think if I were to check Steam achievements. So if I check Steam achievements, I can see that the dream bosses in the 3rd act are all at about 30% players. So 2/3 of players who have ever played this game have never seen these. Good for the mid game, fairly accessible. I don't even really disagree with the first 2 that much, but like just everything about Clover Dancers and Seth being here is a baffling. To all the Clover Dancer detractors out there, I'm sure there are tons of you Clover Dancer haters, right? Is your big argument that it's not a great boss, that it's not meaty enough? Like, what the fuck are you talking about, Robot? What are we doing? Anyway, another 4 bosses, Moss Mother, Pelpies, Dancers, and Guardian. Let's get them in. Which completes the C tier and leaves me kind of aghast looking at it like, Like, yeah, these are fine, but we're getting to the point where you name any random boss in one of these lower tiers and it starts being just as offensive as putting Savage Beastfly 2 up here. So let's get down to the D tier. We have Pale Stag, Skull Tyrant, both Trobios, and Unraveled. I've got some issues. First of all, I absolutely despise Pale Stag. I don't see how you can put Skull Tyrant a tier below Bell Beast. They're basically the same fight. I do agree with its argument that, like, if you wanted to put a tier lower, it's less important. It's more of a filler boss. Like, yeah, those are real arguments to make that it is a worse boss than Bell Beast. Even though I don't agree with it, I see where it's coming from. It's valuing the thematics of this boss in a difficulty fun tier list, which is interesting. I guess thematics are part of fun, though. It's not mentioned as top tier in difficulty or excitement. Yeah, you can say that again. The Unraveled has mixed of players. Some players like the mechanics, others find it too tanky or repetitive. I guess you can get there a lot earlier than I ever have. Never once thought Unraveled was too tanky, even when I was struggling with it by fighting it as soon as I really could on my second playthrough. But yeah, Trobio getting some shade here. A fun novelty, but not universally praised for challenge intensity. What? You're gonna put him down here with Pale Stag and Skull Tyrant? Look, I understand if you fought Trobio and had a bad time, it's not an easy fight. There are some visual clarity issues. It can take a while to learn some of its moves because there's really nothing else like the ball move in any other fight in the game or in the previous game. But oh my god, why? Okay, let's put them in. And lastly, for the F tier / controversial bosses, very polarizing, widely criticized, we have a Voltveer. Players say it's too easy relative to other late game bosses and it lacks mechanical depth. Like, yeah, sure. I don't disagree with that. Why is it an F tier? That's not a reason to put it in the worst tier imaginable. Yeah, he sucks. He's a miserable boss. Definitely not a good one. Why an F tier? You think it's meaningfully worse than Pale Stag? I would fight Voltveer over Pale Stag every single day of the week. What are we on about? And of course, because it is community consensus, it could only ever put one boss as its worst boss in the game, and that is the original Savage Beastfly. The first one, while some find it fun, there's strong backlash. See the hate subreddit for it. 1 second. Can you tell me the name of the hate subreddit for the Savage Beastfly? Is that a thing, or is it making that up? That can't be real. The subreddit is called r/fuck Savage Beastfly. It has 27,000 weekly visitors. That's so funny. Oh my god, it didn't even make it up. That's real. I love that. Anyways, so to round out the tier list, we all agree there's some slight problems, as you may have noticed. Savage Beastfly is terrible, and it's only a little bit worse than Voltveer. We're gonna need a new tier. We're going to call this tier Fake News. And Cogwork Dancers, unremarkable. No one's heard of it. I don't think anyone's ever talked about Moorwing either. First Sinner, barely nowhere. I mean, the rest of these are at least not super exciting bosses, but like a lot of people stand for this, man. Second Sentinel has his fans. Same with the Cogflies. Same with the first Lace fight, although you could argue I was being mean. It did say specifically rematches, though. At least what's left is mostly middling bosses without hardcore fans. Even if, like, I will stand for Crawlfather and I like Broodmother. Like, the rest of these are at least not super popular bosses, but like, they are most definitely bosses. And if you're gonna rank every boss in the game, how many did we miss as a percentage? We got 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and we missed 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22. We successfully ranked 24, we missed 22 out of the 46 bosses. The good news is, this was the most coherent tier list it's ever given me, probably because I talked with it for a while before I started. The impetus for this video is the other day I asked it to make this tier list and I was laughing with my friends about it, and I took screenshots and sent them in my Discord. And in its previous tier list, you'll notice that it actually looks remarkably different, and ranked bosses that just weren't in the other one, like Cogwork Dancers. Still liked Savage Beastfly for some reason, but It also had a lot more delirious delusions where it combined stuff like Lost Judge and Phantom. It combined all the lace fights again. It ranked Scarguard as a boss, but also thought it was Skull Tyrant. And it also just threw in so many bosses that shouldn't be here, like the Craggler. It ranked, I don't know why, it just hates Trovio. Down here with Falsified Zango, who it remembered this time, right? This is a completely different tier list created by the same thing with the same inputs. And it is also a little bit more unsure than my version. It's like, I don't know, maybe Summon Savior's a Steel Soul exclusive. And then it also gives an honorable mention to Phantom if for some reason you don't combine it with Last Judge, which is obviously the thing to do. So yeah, this is the ChatGPT Silksong tier list, which if you're drunk and really unconcerned with what's happening in front of you, might look like a real tier list. But under any scrutiny, you might notice some glaring omissions, you might notice some very interesting placements, some exceptionally contradictory statements with no thought put into them because the machine doesn't think. It's aggregating information from different sources and has no idea how to vet that information or combine it. It doesn't know what it's doing. Every time someone uses AI for something, I get so sad. And it's become a pastime of mine to ask the AI things because it's just so wrong, it's funny. Just don't ask ChatGPT to solve your problems. Use it for fun, use it for jokes, use it to find sources, and use it to aggregate information if you're willing just to start from what it gives you. Do not trust it at face value, because this shit is baffling. Although I've gotta say, making the tier list and putting it in front of me, seeing Savage Beastfly at the top and bottom is so funny. I also particularly enjoy putting Lace in A tier and also not existing. I don't know how to end this video, man. People will say do your own research and then look into things with ChatGPT, and I want to choke to death. Anyways, I need to wrap this up, and I'm not really sure how to. I have no grand insight into the future of this technology, no meaningful moral observations. It's a shit show. Be careful using it. It's not worthless, but it is absolutely not reliable either. Don't take life too seriously. Find things to laugh at and enjoy. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want more like this from me, remember to subscribe before you click off. And if you could drop a like on the video, it really does help the channel out, and I really do appreciate it. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a wonderful night.